Ka sorkar Meghalaya hapo kajingalam Menteri Rangba Ukonrat ke Sangma hakakat arterik nailur kala menjur bentau ya ka State Water Informatics Center Meghalaya hapo kajingkmi katanat water resources. Kani ka SWIC kan lom jing tiap ha kabayade bat ki kiwa hajala kentob yaki watershed spring sheds bat ki we ki telong banjurip yaki habaro ishisnam lenter karkum kajing betha jangka Menteri of Jal Shakti. Menteri Rangba Ukonrat ke Sangma ula ong balapan kutno ka sorkar ya kajinya soy na kabenta ki atli ki projek penmi boarding kabalaya soy da ka sorkar ki bamunshua. Kini ki projek boarding ki kenthop ya ka Kynshi hydroelectric power project bat ka Upper Khri stage 1 bat stage 2 projects. Kani kajing penduk no ya kani kajinya soy kontrak kamut setia ban penkut no sendon ya ki kam penmi boarding lengba kini kiwa. Henry nakaliang ka sorkar kan wat daki weipat kilat kilenti hakabaya day bat kanika company boarding kata lang bagi ni kijuk ki company ni daki weipat.
It was the establishment of the State Water Informatics Center, Meghalaya, with the Department of Water Resources as the lead department or nodal department. The basic objective of this State Water Informatics Center is to be the agency that is going to capture information related to water in the state in different levels, whether it's the rain, whether it's the water levels in the streams, catchment areas, spring sheds, and monitor them throughout the years and share that data with concerned departments like PHE and soil conservation, agriculture, disaster management, and so on and so forth, departments related with water, so that proper informative decisions can be made. And hence this is also mandated by Government of India, Jal Shakti Ministry, and this decision was made today that this will be set up, and it will be under the nodal agency will be the Department of Water Resources. So that was the first decision that was made today. The second decision and the third decision was to terminate two hydropower projects that was signed by the government of Meghalaya many years back. One is the Kynshi hydroelectric project, and number two is the Upper Khri stage 1 and stage 2 projects. As you recall, that these two projects were in collaboration and tie up with some private parties, but because of the financial non-viability of these projects or unviability of these projects, and the rates coming up too high, and also the time taken by the different companies to implement this, the decision was taken by the cabinet that both these projects, the Kynshi project and the Upper Khri stage 1 and 2 projects, will be terminated. But the government will and the departments concerned will immediately move for looking for new partners, or maybe the same partners also in a new format, because as I said, the main reasons was that the project in its current forms were not looking or not viable in terms of the rates. But the new technologies that have come in, where pump storage and other facilities can be used, and also the combination of the water being released from one project and being used as a downstream for another project, like in the case of Upper Khri stage 1, 2, the projects also need to be changed, and hence the department will immediately work on that aspect, and we hope that very soon we'll be able to have the expression of interest to move forward with these projects in its new form. Number three.
Syuk kakanhuan Menteri kala menjeru ban penkela ya ka Meghalaya Goods and Services Tax Act 2017, Meghalaya Medical Council and National Law University. Ta sorkar kala rairu ban pendamno ya ka repeal Rajat Lal University Act 2011. Ya kini kijing penkela ya ki any onra ha ka dorbar senrai ka banlong nadu ka khatsan hadu arpo artarik nailur jong news nam. Hakani kajing alang ka kunhun ki menteri la ai jing menjur halor kajing terwa banwan ra ya ka engineering wing hapo ki headquarter jong katanat pulit hakanong ba Shillong.
Number three, there were three ordinances that the government had passed. Those ordinances need to be regularized in the House, and those ordinances were brought today in terms of an amended bill or a bill, and that will be put up in the Assembly. So the first was the repeal of the Rajat Lal University Act 2011. If you recall, we had repealed this through an ordinance. Second was the amendment of Meghalaya Goods and Service Tax 2017. These are amendments that are mandated in terms of the GST Council. The decisions that have been taken by GST Council are then implemented by the state governments, and every state government then has to amend the GST Act of the state as per the amendments made by the GST Council. So these are just regularizing those decisions made by the Council by amending them, and this was done by an ordinance, and now will be ratified, or will be regularizing it by bringing it to the Assembly. Third was the amendment bill for the Meghalaya Medical Council Amendment Bill 2023. This again was an ordinance, if you recall, and if you go back into your notes, you will see the reasons why there were some changes. Nomenclature changes were there, and those have been made, and the ordinance was passed a few weeks back, and that now again is being regularized. The next was the amendment to the National Law University of Meghalaya Bill 2023. Here there were basic changes where we are bringing in certain amendments to the Finance Committee in the college, in the university, and that amendment for the change in the structure of the Finance Committee of the college was proposed in the amendment bill, and at the same time there were some nomenclatures that had to be again changed because it had to be made uniform across the act, and hence those small minor nomenclature amendments have also been brought in.
Hakani kajing alang ka kunhun ki menteri la ai jing menjur halor kajing terwa banwan ra ya ka engineering wing hapo ki headquarter jong katanat pulit hakanong ba Shillong.
The last was the proposal for creation of an engineering wing in the police headquarters in Shillong. As you're aware that the police has a large number of infrastructures all over the state, and hence in order to be able to allow the police department to take care of the needs of these different buildings and offices, an engineering wing was required, because in the absence of an engineering wing, the department would have to follow different procedures which are very time consuming and involve different agencies to do small things like even repair of a bathroom or repair of a thana or repair of a barak. So all these kind of activities that are there will now be done by the engineering wing. And as you're aware, last year we had come up with the decision to sanction and keep certain funds at the discretion of the SP and the DC of every district, so that they can use that money for immediate repair work at the district level, so that proper infrastructure can be provided for policing. And this decision today will allow that decision to be implemented in a better manner, and ensure that whatever basic requirements that the police personnel need at the district and the grassroots level, those requirements can be met.
Shu ulakren halor ka NEP baka jela kanya shakhmat hakabaya day bat kajing menteri kam ya ka NEP arhajar arpo. Bad ulaong baka sorkar ka kloy banyak kren bat ka Meghalaya College Teachers Association MCTA kibalas dang ya ka non-cooperative movement persya ya ka NEP.
I have spoken to many of the colleges and many of the principals, and almost every principal I have spoken to, and almost every college I've spoken to, they all understand that NEP is good for the state and good for the students, and it is the right way to move forward. The challenge is in actually implementing it immediately. Now please understand that what does it mean? NEP requires multidisciplinary subjects to be there. Now say there is a commerce college. Now commerce college should also have science, should also have arts. Now is it a great concept? It is a great concept, obviously, and they would be happy to do it. Now that decision should be taken and we should go ahead with it. I'm giving an example only. Now, what the colleges are saying is that, well, if you have to start that, then the 3 years courses now have to be completed made into 4 years course. And we have to start a science wing. Who's going to give us the money to start the science wing? Who's going to pay for the salaries of the college teachers? Who's going to pay for the building to be constructed? So the concerns are the implementation of this will require huge financial challenges. And hence, how do we move forward? So these are one of the issues. I'm not saying this is everything, but this is one of the issues. Other issues are they're saying that, well, how does the 4-year course become into a 3 years course become into 4 years? Because now the course will have to be redefined in year 1. And you'll have to have different mechanisms for semester-wise programs. And so now if we change semester 1, then we have to say change semester 2, 3, 4. So the colleges have to adapt to a new system. So change is always something that is not very comfortable for anybody. It's not just colleges, even for us. We all would go through the same process. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is that there is no, let's be very clear on this. There is nobody who's against the NEP. Majority of the teachers and the students and the principals are all for the NEP to be implemented. Issue only is in the different requirements to implement it and the process of implementing, which is very, very technically complicated and financially complicated, and hence how will they do it immediately. So it's a process. I think once the discussion takes place between the university and the government and the colleges, that we will allow a smooth way and we'll keep supporting in whatever way possible that is there. I think an understanding will develop. I don't see things so complicated. I don't personally see, as I said, in the decision. But yes, it's complicated in terms of the requirements that are there. And we will discuss and we'll see how to implement it. But the question, as correctly said by the VC, that we cannot go back on that decision. The whole country is moving forward with this. We need to go ahead with this. And the colleges also know that they need to go ahead with this. They are also on board saying that it is good, but challenges are there. And so just let us work together to overcome these challenges. Very clear that we are going ahead with the NEP. There's no doubt about it, and there's no going back on that. There are colleges, there are individuals who have issues. We have no problem. Please come and discuss the matter with us. We're ready to take up the matter and discuss and find a way. If there are any solutions, you can discuss the problems that you have. Maybe the problems that you're seeing are actually not even there. So maybe some clarity is required, some discussion is required. Like you were mentioning about the Forest Act, whether you give all the permissions. All permissions cannot be given by Forest Department. Only forest clearance is given. They have to go for all the clearances in that also. So similarly in this also there must be some misunderstandings. We'll clarify those. No, I mean, I'm not here to blame or to point a finger at anybody. They have concerns, and again MCTA don't have concerns as a whole. There are some individuals out there who have some concerns. I don't say they're causing problems. They have concerns. So we'll address those concerns. There's no problem in that. We'll talk to them and we'll clarify. And I'm open and welcome them all. That whoever has concerns, please come. Our education minister is ready to meet, and if necessary, I'm also available. So if any time is there, you need clarification, we're there to clarify. Because I have spoken to many of the principals. I know almost a lot of them, and they're directly in contact with me on the phone. Most of them have expressed that they would want to be going ahead with this, and they just need the support. And we've said that we will do as much as we can to support. But yeah, concerning the fact that if anybody has said that is not good for the students, that's not true at all. The students may face challenges. There's no doubt about that. But as I said, a transition is always complicated. It's not easy to transit into a new system. There are complications. Students will have to adapt. But what you realize that is the goal and is the objective good or not? Which I would like to say is a good objective. It's good. The kind of NEP policy we have is great. It's going to be very good for the students and for our community and our society and our country. And therefore, we should go ahead with it. And whatever challenges that are there, let's work it together and try to resolve them. Yes, Center has always been helping us in different ways. So there's no specific guidance from the government saying that, well, we'll give this much of money or something for NEP implementation. But indirectly, Government of India is helping all the states, whether it's in the creation of infrastructure at the college levels, whether it's in terms of different support for any way, training that's happening. So support is coming in from Government of India, and I thank Government of India, especially our Education Minister, who has been very, very supportive of Meghalaya. And at every step, wherever we have asked for help and support, he has always supported us. So hence, I don't want to say that they're not helping, but the direct funding for NEP, specifically saying that, well, this is the money for implementing NEP, that is not there. Because as you said correctly, it's a huge financial implication, and we'll have to work it out. And let's see. I don't think it'll be possible for us to sit here and resolve it. But let us move forward and then try to see where we can.
So what is the...
That's not possible for me to say, but as I said, the policy will be straightforward, and I think the registrations or their affiliations with the respective universities will be impacted. So I'm sure that all those impacts will be there, but that's not going to happen today. It's not a threat that we are using, but I'm presuming that tomorrow, say after 4 years, 5 years, when they have to go for renewal of their affiliation, then I'm sure these conditions will come in and the questions will arise, and then obviously if they're not in the line with that, it could affect the affiliation of the college to a particular university is what I'm guessing. But that is something that I will not be able to comment on right now. I don't have the details with me.
Hakabaya day bat Dewiong ukon rad ulaong bakajing bat kendo kadai ka bakongsan bat kani kalapan slam hakabaya day ban sedang tino ya Dewiong jela kat kum ka start sayan. Ulaong ru ba hakabaya day bat kajing ut jing nam ban penduna ya kajing he jong ka jakati par na ka shispa hekda syaka ba khamrit khnang ba kinong khayi ki barit ken la ban apply ya ka mining li sapo ka district ukon rad ulaong ba ka sorkar kala shimkhya ya kani bat kajing ya lenti kampat kut henry ka sorkar kaya hakalenti ka badai.
4 agencies which have already received the NOC concern from the central government, their mining plans are being approved as we speak. So we expect that mining plan to get a final clearance. I can't remember the agency, whether it was IBM or whether it was CMPDIL, but one of the technical agencies, after ensuring that their lease and all those aspects have already been cleared, the final stage of that plan, which was to be submitted by them, is being vetted as we speak. I expect in a matter of weeks or maybe a month or so that we'll actually see things happening on the ground. But as I said, the process is now at a very, very advanced stage. Where this 100 hectares came from, we were working, fighting against in the Supreme Court, against NGT, then discussing with Government of India in all these matters, because for us, we wanted the process to start. That's what's important to us. And when the discussions took place, there are different factors that were put in that area, technology, this, that, and all these things. So while those negotiations were going on, the area issue came up, and Government of India was very particular that that number should not go down. And so we felt that in the larger interest of at least setting the ball rolling and starting the whole thing of mining happening, let us not stick too much to this 100 hectares issue as of now. Let it start. And once things start, then in the next stage we can come and discuss for the reduction of the area, because Government of India was not at that point in time comfortable at reducing their thing. We said, okay, fine, let's at least start with 100 hectares, and then later on, if necessary, we will try to work to reduce it. So it was with that logic, in order to, in the interest of making sure the mining started, we went ahead with that proposal. And I'm happy that it has worked, and we are now at the final stage of getting the mining plan approved, and the mining will start. Now coming to the areas which are lesser, so based on the different miners and organizations appealing that they should be reduced, we have taken up the matter with Government of India already. So the process is already on. We have not got or reached to a conclusion yet, but it is going in the right direction. That's all I can say. It's going in the right direction. So a lot of talks, a lot of discussions are involved. Please remember that Meghalaya's case is very unique. Why did we have so much of concerns of the difficulties in reaching to a conclusion in Meghalaya was because our land holdings are different out here. So in other areas, the government owns the land, the government owns the mines, and then they lease it out to a private party. Here, the private party owns the land, and now the government is acting as an agency to lease it out again to another individual to then mine it. So government has to now change the rules based on Meghalaya's land holding system out here, and that is where the complications came up. So the rules that are there for the rest of the country will not fully apply to Meghalaya because of the land holding procedures. As I said, in other places, the mines are owned by Government of India, and Government of India leases it out. Here, the land is owned by you. And then now, how do we come into the picture to to regulate that and come into the system and bring in a new mechanism for Meghalaya. And that's what complicated the matter. But we are now in a stage where we have now overcome that, and that is what took a lot of time. But as I said, all the hard work put in has given us a positive result, and I hope that even this 100-hectare issue will be resolved also.